Hi, this is Aaron. I'm here with ce2go, and for this tutorial, we're going to briefly go over some of our core features. The first thing I'm going to do is visit ce2go.net, and I'm going to log in with my administrative credentials. One feature I'd like to show you is the ability to validate a question set. So you can see here we have a few different question sets. This first one has already been made available to users and has gathered user responses. I'm going to go ahead and look at the question statistics. You can see the number of user attempts, the number answered correctly, and then the attempts answered incorrectly, and then the overall percentage. We also offer a brief summary of each question, the number of attempts made, the number correct, and then also the number incorrect. This way you can validate your question set. For example, if you saw a number on here that was really low, you might find that maybe that question was too difficult, or perhaps the question was misleading. On the flip side, if you saw a correct percentage of 95, 98, you might think, okay, this question is a little bit too easy. And this is just a really quick way to help you validate your questions and see how users are reacting and responding to those questions. Regarding users, you can manage your user base here. You can pick out an individual user and you can see the credits they've earned so far. You can see individual submissions, which questions they answered, whether they answered them correctly or not. So again, you can search your users. You also have the ability to invite a user. I'm not going to go through this step by step, but basically you fill out the information for the user you'd like to invite, and they basically will receive an email like this with a subscription code. And basically what the subscription code is, it lets us keep your questions secure. Only users with subscription codes can obviously get the questions on their devices once they've signed up. They can answer their questions in the portal, but if you haven't been invited and you don't have a subscription code to the organization's questions, you aren't going to have access. And that way we can keep your questions secure and make sure that only your users get those questions. Another quick feature would be the settings. It gives you a few options for your question set. It lets you define how many questions will equal 1 credit, whether you want a minimum number of questions required before they submit them for credit, and then also a couple options here as well. Should users be able to submit incorrect questions for credit? Probably not. And also whether users can answer questions repeatedly until they get the question correct. Another option here is an administrative email where you can receive updates. So when users submit their questions for credit, you can put an email in here and you'll be notified whenever your users are submitting questions for credit. That's a brief overview of the administrative functions. I would like to end with some contact information here. The best way to get a hold of us is hello@ce2go.net. We obviously have a mailing address and phone number as well, and then a contact form as well. And thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you.